Welcome to another brand new day. And today is Sunday, 12th of July, 2026. And first and foremost, we are thankful to God for giving us the opportunity to enter into another new day, even a day that He has made for us. So I welcome you to this live video. And without any waste of time, our Bible reflection for today, July 12th, 2026, is taken from Genesis chapter 15, verse 16. And let us first and foremost, as usual, read to see what the scripture says before we enter the devotional. But in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. Now, when you study that passage in its context, you will understand that this was what God was showing. God was showing Abraham what is going to happen to his descendants in the future. And this passage shows the promise or the hope of Abraham's children after 400 years. What God is trying to say here is that after 400 years of suffering in the land of Egypt, that He will bring the children of Israel out of the slavery they will be living in that land, and will come and settle them in a land already occupied by the Amorites or the Canaanites, as we understand them to be. So here, God made Abraham fall into a trance, or was it a sleep? And then He showed him a vision of what is going to happen in the future. And after showing him what his children are going to pass through, He then gave him a word of hope that no matter that He will not allow them to perish in their suffering in Egypt. Instead, after 400 years, which spans four generations, that He is going to bring them out of that land. Now, when we go to the background of this story, you will understand how the children of Israel landed in the land of Egypt. It all began when Joseph had a dream. Joseph was the 11th son of Jacob. He had a dream, and when he had that dream, he woke up from the dream and told his brothers the dream, told his parents the dream, and the dream was about him ruling over everybody. Because of Joseph's dream, his brothers began to be envious. His brother became envious and hated him, and because of that, they planned on how to kill him. And while they arranged everything and took him to the field, his eldest brother Reuben had a change of mind and told his brothers, "This is our own flesh and our own blood. It is not right for us to kill him. Instead of us killing him, let us sell him so that he will not live here to rule over us." Now, all of them stood and thought for a while, and after thinking, they all decided to sell Joseph instead of killing him. And as we know the story, Joseph was sold, taken to the land of Egypt, where he became a servant to Potiphar. In the house of Potiphar, Joseph had a problem when his wife wanted to seduce him, and he was cast into prison. In the prison again, Joseph had another dream of how there will be 7 years of famine and 7 years of plenty. Because of that, he then gave the king a suggestion that during those 7 years of famine, that food should be stored, food that will be enough for them to survive during the 7 years of during the 7 years of plenty, that they should store enough food that will be able to enough food that they will use to survive for the 7 years of famine. That is, there was going to be 7 years of plenty before the 7 years of famine. So as the story goes, and I really hope you know, Joseph became a prime minister. He was given that position so that he would preside over the sharing of food, the selling of food, and because of that, he was the prime minister of Egypt. Now, during that the year when the famine began, his brothers started to learn about that food learned that food is in Egypt. So they went to Egypt to get food, and that is how they discovered Joseph as his brother. And when they discovered that Joseph is in charge of food in Egypt, they all left their land to Egypt to stay there. So from there, the children of Israel, after the death of Joseph, the next Pharaoh that came put them into slavery. And that was how the prophecy or the vision that God showed Abraham came to pass. Now, when you reflect on this Bible passage, you will understand that it was sin, it was evil that caused the children of Israel to go to the land of Egypt. Now, if Joseph's brothers did not envy and hate him and sold him into slavery, there is no way that the children of Israel would have gone to Egypt where they also became slaves. Now, when you think on what the scripture says that we reap what we sow, and then you put it into this story, you will see that it is not a lie. The same slavery that the children of Israel sold, or the same slavery that the brothers of Joseph sold him into, was the same slavery that they all went into in due course. They all became slaves in the land of Egypt. But then our passage today does not really entail that slavery. We are just giving it as the background story of what happened. Our passage today, from what God has shown us, is a passage of hope. It helps us to understand that after the suffering of these children of Israel for 400 years, God will not forget them because they are his people. He will bring them out of Egypt from their slavery to a promised land. And do you see what is happening in the promised land that God is going to bring them into? People are already occupying that place. The Amorites, or you call them the Canaanites, they are already occupying the promised land that the children of Israel must come to dwell. Now, God says that the reason those people are occupying that place is because their sins are not yet full. So then, when God is ready after the 400 years to bring the children of Israel, his own people, to come and dwell in the land that the Amorites are already dwelling in, God says that he will do what? He will pursue them out of that land and give it to the children of Israel. Now, when you put this passage side by side with your life today, with my own life today, we discover that most times the things that we are passing through in life is as a result of the sins committed by our parents, our forefathers. You see, because of this sin of Joseph's brothers, because Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery, they had to go to the land of Egypt and become slaves for 400 years. Now, the most outstanding part of today's reflection is that this slavery is not going to last forever, which goes to say that your problem, your condition, my own problem, my own condition that we are living in as a result of what our foreparents did years back is not going to be forever, because God will remember his promise to our father Abraham and then bring us out of that suffering in due time. That is why you must, as a child of God, must understand that there is no condition that is worse for you here on earth. Whatever you are going through, whatever you are passing through, even if it comes as a result of what your parents, your foreparents did, at God's own time, at God's set time, he is going to bring you out of that problem. He is going to deliver you from that situation. He is going to bring you out of that slavery. And as we know, when it was time for God to bring the children of Israel out of Egypt, what did he do? He appointed Moses, a man who was without fear, a strong man who had to kill somebody and run away from the land to show his toughness, to show his braveness. Now, while he ran away, God then arrested him, gave him power, gave him the boldness, even though he was a stammerer. God told him, go, I am the one who sends you. To show that Moses was not perfect in everything, he went. God used Moses to achieve this prophecy that we have seen this morning for Abraham. and brought the children of Israel out of the slavery they were living in Egypt. So that is how it is going to happen to you. That is how it is going to happen to me. After years of passing through the trials, the problems, predicaments, suffering we are going through as a result of what our foreparents did, God is going to send a Moses to come and deliver us. Because you need to understand your deliverance, your salvation is not going to come from you. It is not going to come from your hard work. God at the same time will appoint somebody to come and take you out of that situation. If you are meant to get a contract that will help you to get the money to escape the financial situation you are living in, God is going to send someone who will come and give you that contract. God is going to send someone who will come and empower you. God is going to send someone who will come and give you that job, that contract, that status, that position. God at his own set time will send you a Moses. And the reason you need to understand is to come and deliver you from the slavery, the problem, the suffering you are living in. If sickness is your problem, God is going to send a doctor, a physician, a nurse who is going to put an end to that your sickness, who is going to give you the medication that is going to work after you have taken so different types of medication for a very long time. So today's Bible reflection, Genesis chapter 15, verse 16, gives us hope. After Abraham, when I reflected, when I started to reflect on this passage before I brought it to share with you, I was thinking, I was putting myself in the position of Abraham. I was thinking, God is showing me what is going to happen to my children, to my children's children in the future. Now, after showing me all the things they are going to pass through, the slavery, the torments, the torture, the problems, he ended that vision with a word of hope that after these years, he gave a specific year that after 400 years, he himself is going to bring those my children's children out of that suffering, and he will come and settle them in a place that other people are already settling. Do you see? So when God is ready and prepared to bless you, to elevate you, to lift you, even though that Pharaoh, even though that the Amorites, I mean your enemy, the evil ones, are already occupying the position that you should be occupying, God is going to push them out, to flush them, so that he hands over that position to you, because you are the one that deserves it. So when we think on this passage, we reflect on it deeply, you understand that our God is a God that programs things his own way. He knows what is going to happen today. He knows what is going to happen in the future. And so he prepares